Hey, everybody. Welcome to our live stream line on this windy, crazy Tuesday here in Western New York. We've got lots to talk about and
For sure.
beyond, too. Yeah, Autumn, you just had a windy drive into work today.
Oh, yeah. I was a little bit of everywhere, and especially on some of those side roads, there were trees down, there's limbs all over the place. We had sheriff's cars that were stopping you from going down certain streets. So, my suggestion is if you don't have to go out, I know no one wants to hear that, but just take it easy, stay inside. 70-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
wind gusts, Mary Beth. I saw that you had talked about this as well at the airport just a short while ago.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, this morning we had all the winds really concentrated across the southern tier, especially along the Lake Erie shoreline from Hanover down to Westfield, reporting lots of damage from hurricane force winds. Because around 11:30, Dunkirk had a wind gust of 74 miles an hour, and they were really taking a beating for about an hour with 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds. And people in the metro area were saying, well, hey, where's the wind? Well, it's here now because look at the Buffalo airport now with a wind gust of 70 miles per hour. So that's right in Cheektowaga, not far from the Buffalo. It's part of the Buffalo metro area. And unfortunately, we have the evening rush hour upon us. It's getting to be that time right now, and the winds are really starting to ramp up here in the Buffalo metro area, even into downtown Buffalo. We're seeing winds gusting into the upper 40s, close to 50 already. And you know yourself when there's lots of cars out on the road and kind of not enough stopping distance, you got to really hang on to the wheel today. And just especially with the rain, too, it's slippery outside, it's wet, it's just not pretty. Yeah, Karen, you got a good
Yeah, stay
advice there.
home.
Stay home.
It's very
Absolutely.
windy.
Yeah, and if you have travel plans at the airport, there's an airport weather warning till 7 o'clock. That means everything is grounded until then. And we've our assignment editor, our assignment manager, he said that all the flights are either delayed or canceled right now at the airport. So I would definitely um, call ahead because it's just a very volatile situation. And even if it's okay here, it's just a mess across the eastern seaboard and going back into the Great Lakes too. So it's not just troubling here in Buffalo, but Chicago, New York City, down to Florida. Florida had tornadoes. It's just really, really a volatile situation right now.
Yeah, we had earlier from the CBP, the Border Patrol, there were about 60 or so utility vehicles that were coming over the border early this morning in preparation for what was to come here. And I believe they were traveling over to Connecticut. But I know that even here in Western New York, they have all planned for it. You get the email notification. Hey, we're expecting power outages. We're doing our best to stay on top of that. So that's happening in my neck of the woods down in Hamburg in North Boston. Power is out there. Again, at your major roads, because I was just driving through the 219, the 90, the 190, all of them are moving nicely. But when you get off of those roads or those major thoroughfares and you are headed home and going down your side streets, just be very mindful of that. It's getting dark now. So there are tree limbs that are just kind of out in the road that they haven't cleared away. So things can be a little bit dicey. So be very mindful of that this evening. And these winds are coming from a direction that they don't normally come from. So
Right.
when you think of that, or why we mention that, is our trees are kind of rooted to withstand all those southwest winds because that's kind of where they prevail from, where we normally get them from. So Mother Nature knows, hey, we need to kind of be strong in this way. And then we have them come from the opposite direction. Our trees aren't really rooted for that. Also, we haven't been cold enough for the ground to really freeze over. So those shallow rooted trees are just very easy to come down as well. So that's something to also keep in mind this evening.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And also, a lot of the
I
trees that
believe
you
that
have
was
to look
Chautauqua.
out.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's Chautauqua there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some of the damage that
In
we're seeing.
Chautauqua County. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also it's the pine trees. Those pine trees have such shallow roots.
Yep.
your evergreens, the Christmas trees that are there. Those have the best risk of tumbling over because they have such shallow roots out there. But again, that wind direction is critical out of the southeast. Fortunately, later tonight, Autumn, the winds are going to shift to the southwest. So they'll be back in that normal direction. And this high wind warning does go till 4 a.m. It does look like the worst of the winds are going to come between now and say 9 o'clock tonight. But here's a
Right.
look at the sustained wind speeds. These are not wind gusts. These are sustained winds, and that's breezy enough or windy enough. The winds are now sustained at 35 at the airport, 23 in the Falls, 24 at Jamestown. I think the Dunkirk station is out because they are not reporting. And I wouldn't
Right.
be surprised why, because they took a beating this morning for sure. So here's a look at the projected power outage risk area. This is the risk area by 5 o'clock, still along the Lake Erie shoreline, and then actually going up into portions of the Genesee Valley too. So Batavia into Warsaw, you could have some really, really strong wind gusts as well over into Cat County, even into Allegheny County as well, and even edging a little closer to the metro area as we push into the evening hours. This is 8 o'clock tonight, so you can see maybe even into Williamsville, Clarence, over into a little bit of Orleans County. You could see a few power outages there as well. And then we should start to quiet things down after that. But it is definitely a rainy night tonight. So with that heavy rain, if you get a big burst of heavy rain, you could get poor visibility at times. So just be careful driving, just slow down, give yourself enough stopping distance if you have to go out too.
So I was
Um,
just reading a few of those comments as you were speaking, Mary Beth, and
yeah,
some are asking about Niagara Falls and Lockport and what they're going to expect. I got a few notifications on Twitter about that as well. They are within the high wind warning too, but between Niagara Falls and Lockport, those areas along the Niagara Escarpment and south, or well, I should say north going towards Lake Ontario, much less wind, although still quite gusty, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts likely in those
that's
areas.
enough.
And that, yeah, and that peaking over the next few hours as well. So they're just kind of
Right.
getting into it now, but not
Yes.
dealing with that's those 70-mile-an-hour gusts that we've had at the airport, and then of course in Dunkirk as well. I've got a couple of people that were talking about Orchard Park, and someone's pool fence flew over. We saw
Yeah.
my sister-in-law took a picture of the Orchard Park police helping assist in a runaway tent that was,
Right.
gotten all
Yeah.
tumbled up. So it's an interesting situation this afternoon and evening.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just says trees down all over in East Aurora.
East
Not
Aurora.
surprised there. And then someone else asked, how long will the winds last in Cheektowaga? Probably through this evening. I'd say the worst winds should be over by 9 o'clock, but there still could be some really strong wind gusts overnight too. Again, this wind warning goes till 4 a.m., but I think the most persistent wind gusts will be between now and 9 p.m. this evening. So even in Wheatfield, somebody's saying that the wind and rain is horrible there too. So yeah. So I just want to show you the current conditions. Here's the camera
Yep.
in downtown Buffalo, and it's pretty shaky right now. The winds gusting to 70 miles an hour. That's a report from the airport. That's not in downtown, but that is our sky cam from downtown Buffalo. So you can see the visibility is pretty poor out there right now because of the rain and that sustained wind at 35 miles an hour out of the southeast. But it is very mild tonight. You will not need a really heavy jacket because temperatures are going up. We're going to be close to 50 degrees by midnight. Can you believe it? Yeah, this is
I
not
know it.
January. Yeah, so here's the latest on the advisories, the weather alerts, the high wind warning in effect till 4 a.m. for all of Western New York. And then the wind advisory has been extended for northern Pennsylvania through tomorrow till 6 p.m. And I have to mention, even after our high wind warning is expired at 4 a.m., it will most likely transition to a wind advisory because it's still going to be pretty windy tomorrow, but just not as
Right.
fierce.
Yeah, the wind gusts kind of tailor down towards the more maybe 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts, which mind
Yeah,
you is still quite breezy. And then
yeah,
they're back up to 45, 50, maybe a little
yeah,
bit plus for our tomorrow afternoon. And actually, looking through
yeah.
the entire week, Friday is almost like the lull between it all. And then there's
Right.
more high winds into the
Oh
upcoming
yeah.
weekend. So these winds aren't really going anywhere. The
No,
biggest are happening now,
tonight.
but
Yeah, this
we're
afternoon
going
for
to be,
evening rush hour and into
yeah.
the evening hours. Yeah. And then things should slowly get better, slowly. So we've got
Oh,
all
you
this
know what?
rain
I
transfer.
also, sorry, Mary Beth, I also wanted to
Yeah, no
mention
problem.
that the tandem trucks and empty trailers, they have been
Oh, yeah.
ordered off the roads as
Oh,
well.
yes,
So,
yes. And there is
um,
also a travel advisory in Erie County too.
yeah,
So,
so just be my even when they
yeah,
are on the road with you, just give them their space. I mean, I ride in a SUV, and I was on the 219 earlier when that 74-mile-an-hour gust happened at Dunkirk, and there were some gusts that was even kind of throwing me around. So
yeah, right.
it's a very windy night.
Yeah, you got to hang on and look at all the rain. So some areas could see over an inch of rain by midnight tonight. And you can see the heaviest rain is near the Pennsylvania line around Bradford into Wellsville. Wellsville, you're already transitioned over to rain. You had mostly snow for a good chunk of the day, but now it's just plain old rain. But yeah, it is heavy and still some heavy downpours near the Lake Ontario shoreline too, going in toward Niagara Falls. So you're going to see a lot of rain as well. So really a saturated ground, and with those shallow tree roots, we still got to be mindful and watch out for where the trees are, what they're going to do tonight. So here's a look at the wind gust tracker. So this is 6 o'clock tonight. This is a forecast map. This is what the model is saying. It is actually suggesting that the winds are going to ramp up in the next couple of hours. So again, the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rush hour in the Buffalo metro area, look at that 62 miles an hour. Batavia near 70. Dunkirk could be back up to 78, almost 80 miles an hour. That's like a category 1 hurricane. And Springville up to 73 miles an hour. Even Niagara Falls clocking in with a 46-mile-an-hour gust and 58 miles an hour at Middleport. And I just showed that power outage graphic too and said there could be some spotty activity in Orleans County. Well, here's why. Okay, so we'll take you till this is 8:30 at night, and the winds are still pretty high. So 50 miles an hour in the Falls, 60 at Middleport, still near 70 at Batavia, and 62 here in Buffalo. So this is not good for the next several hours. I'd say it's going to get worse before it gets better. So again,
Right.
a lot of you folks were saying stay in and stay inside. That's it. And it says, of course, Sabres game tonight downtown. That's going to be wild with the wind. Yes, it will be. Yeah.
For sure. You
Yeah.
know, a
And
lot of these
really be careful
places,
driving to it. Yes.
yeah, a lot of these places, there are after school activities that are closed, but then there are some that are still going on. If there are power, they're not going to shut them down. So just, give yourself the caution. If you don't think you want to go out and you don't want to, go through all of that, then, don't worry about it. But as you were talking about the snow switching to rain down across the southern tier, Keith from Cottersport said that there's slush on the roads down there now. And again,
Yeah.
that did switch from snow to rain. Others were asking
Yeah.
about power outages. So I took
Hmm.
a look. I just brought up National Grid. I know there are others, but there's thousands of people without power at this point. The service areas between Buffalo to Batavia to Wellsville, Jamestown, Fredonia, Southern Erie County. There's a lot there as well. So they say number of outages 69, customers affected around 1,300 there. So
Yeah.
they're pretty much everywhere south of the thruway between Buffalo and Batavia. Essentially, is where there are power outages, and north
Yeah.
of that,
Right.
everything's okay.
Yeah. Hey, Autumn, and our boss just chimed in. He said it's his first Sabres game for this year. Check it out. So be
And
careful driving,
and that's the
Karen.
one he chose to. Yeah.
You might need your cell
Walk
phone
safe.
to use as a flashlight. Hopefully
Yeah.
the power stays on. Hopefully their generators are working, right?
Yeah. You would think they've got
Yep.
top-notch generators, that's for sure.
Yeah. We can only hope. All right, let's take you through our wind gust tracker. This is at 3:30 in the morning. And notice the wind gusts are not as bad. So it looks like they're going to start to dwindle a little bit, but still it's going to be pretty gusty. It might be, you might hear your roof creaking in the middle of the night, but tomorrow is going to still be a breezy day. And as we get into the afternoon, again, we could see winds gusting close to 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles an hour. So I do expect that the Weather Service will put out a wind advisory for portions of Western New York, or maybe for our whole area too. And then it
Yeah,
will
one
likely
thing
stay
at a
kind of
time.
breezy. Yeah, right. One day at a time. Absolutely. So here's a look at the storm. Look at how broad this thing is. So we've got snow on the backside of it in Wisconsin and Michigan. And then we've got flooding rain. There are a lot of flood warnings in the eastern half of the country, and so many alerts. And not only that, we've had tornado watches and warnings from the Carolinas all the way down through Florida. So here's a look at the hour by hour forecast. We're going to stay rainy tonight. Here's 6:30, and then still some periods of rain. The rain should start to taper off a little bit later tonight. We'll get a bit of dry time during the overnight, and then tomorrow the rain will transition over to some maybe slushy snow as we get into the afternoon. We're not looking for a lot of accumulation, maybe an inch in some spots. It could be slushy in some places, maybe tricky travel for some roads, maybe not all. And then as we get into Thursday, there's another chance of scattered wet snow showers. So that's really what's going on. So no major storms brewing after this. But I do want to
Until
show
the
you what's
weekend.
going until the weekend. This is what we're going to show you right now because we just got new information hot off the press. Okay.
All right.
So
Let's get into it.
before it looked like rain was going to change to snow on Saturday, but now it looks like that's going to happen Friday night, and it's going to be all snow on Saturday and all snow on Sunday. It's going to be colder for Saturday and Sunday, which would indicate we have a better chance of accumulations. It may be the weekend that people will fire up their snow blowers and use their shovels more so. Yeah, so here's a look at this is 4:30 in the morning on Saturday, and see that wintry mix. So by say like 12 o'clock, it's back into all snow. And it's probably going to be, it could be a persistent snow all day and evening. This is 9 o'clock, so we could get some accumulations there. And then on Sunday, there still could be some general snow showers early in the day. And it could be moving, shifting lake effect snow. It may actually not stay in one place. It could shift from south to north. We just don't know yet, but that's the way it looks right now. But one model is putting out maybe up to 6 inches of snow on Saturday, maybe another 4 inches, 2 to 4, 3 to 6 on Saturday, 2 to 4. We'll have more tomorrow on this because as we get closer, we know more. But this is the way it looks now. This changed from yesterday because we had a temperature like 30. It was higher on Saturday, but now it's below freezing. So there could be a general snow. It's going to be another wind maker too, and it's going to get colder on Sunday. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The problem with, I mean, generally as we get closer, the better defined forecast we have.
Yes.
However, when you also have these big systems in the way before you can kind of start looking towards that, it almost shields it. You have to get these models to get rid of this energy first to watch the next batch of energy that's coming in.
And sometimes within a generalized, like a synoptic snowstorm, you can also get lake enhancement within it too, if the winds are aligned correctly. So
and graphically. So much.
Exactly. But tonight it's not going to be cold. It's going to be warm. We're only going to cool down to 40 degrees. by morning. Occasional rain with damaging winds tonight, winds gusting up to 60. That should actually be higher, 70 or 75. And then tomorrow we'll have windy conditions with rain changing to snow showers. But temperatures generally should stay above the freezing mark, like hovering very, very close to a freezing or just above. We got another comment from Shanda. Just drove from Hamburg to Williamsville. Hamburg is way worse up here.
It's bad down there.
Yeah, it
and
is.
the
And
Delta
a
flight
Delta
came
flight
in.
just came in. Huh. I'm surprised. Yeah. You know, the airport is so good though. They're the best at clearing out their runways. They have those snow removal symposiums for the whole world.
I
They
bet those
teach people how to
passengers'
get rid of
knuckles were
snow.
white.
Yeah, I've flown
I would
into
have been
Buffalo
holding
in
on.
snowstorms. Kudos to them for sure.
Yeah.
Here's the Super 7-day forecast. So if you like winter, you'll love it, especially next week because it's going to get really cold. Martin Luther King holiday, a high of 20 on Tuesday. Right now, the models are saying upper teens for daytime highs.
Yeah, and those overnight lows going into the single digits. And on Sunday, yes, we're not exactly sure where lake bands are going to be, but what you can expect is it's going to be a cold winter game on Sunday. 20s,
Yeah,
it's going to feel like the single digits. It's a pretty gusty day too.
and there could be some general snow showers too,
Right.
not just lake effect for the Bills games. So even though the temperature says 24, it's probably going to feel like it's in the single digits. If you're going to the game, you're really going to have to wear lots of layers,
Which
and gloves and
everyone
hats.
will do for sure.
Right.
But we haven't had a true winter game here at all this season. You know, we've kind of lucked out in pretty good weather. So this one's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. Oh, Tracy says she has a pool in her lawn or on her lawn. So, Tracy, what part of Western New York do you live in? Can you
I need the rain to
let
set.
us?
My backyard, I'm in North
Yeah.
Boston, and my backyard's like
Well,
a
because
swamp.
it looks like the heaviest rain was south of here, but still, like anywhere
Oh
from
yeah.
half inch to an inch and a half of rain. So, yeah. So, yeah. So everybody, just take it easy today. If you have to go out this evening, just drive
North
slowly.
NT she
Oh,
is.
North Tonawanda. Yes, North Tonawanda was getting heavy rain. Thank you, Tracy. Good idea just to stay in and watch a good Hallmark movie tonight.
Yeah, the creeks and streams, they're all very swollen. We've gotten
Yeah.
some alerts for the hydro as well. So yeah, here we are, a little bit of
Yeah.
everything
Also,
going.
if you do lose power, you're asked to call to notify the company to let them know that your power is out because they just can't get to everyone. So, yeah. All righty. So, yeah, just give them a jingle if you can to let them know that your power has gone out. But I think they're pretty much on it today. So this is good news.
Yep, they saw this one coming. So that's kind of the latest look at everything that we have here. That 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts at the airport, and the next few hours are those highest or peak gusts that we're going to have. Yeah. And then it kind of tailors down into the night, although still remaining quite gusty.
Yeah. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 5 and 6 and 7 and 11 here on Channel 7. So
we'll see you then.